As spring rolls in, more and more people are starting to cook outside. But for many, spicing things up for the heat of the summer can be a challenge. Chef and owner of the restaurant Sanders, Kim Holmes, is here to teach us how to properly marinate. Thanks for being on the show with us today, Kim.
Thanks for having us.
So you got to tell me.
Having me, anyway.
What made you start cooking?
Well, my grandmother started me picking herbs in her garden when I was a young kid, and making me eat them and
make sure they tasted good?
Well, just know the different flavors.
Okay, yeah, that's very cool.
And then we'd go in and she'd prepare a meal, and she worked for Ladies Home Journal.
All right.
And her shtick was cooking for company.
Okay.
So she liked to party.
Yeah.
So she made sure everything was prepared ahead. So they just threw things in the oven and whatnot.
Easy, convenient, yeah.
And convenient, and then she wasn't whipped when the party started.
That's great. So you've worked at a lot of restaurants, right?
Yes, mainly all restaurants that I've owned since I've been back from the in the States, from Europe.
You were in Europe?
5 years.
Did you have a restaurant over there, or did you just work
No,
from
I was a grunt.
Okay.
I did whatever they asked me to do.
So what kind of things did you kind of learn from working over in Europe as opposed to coming to the United States?
Well, the three components that make a great restaurant. Good food, good service, and atmosphere. And when I worked in Italy, I worked in a little pizzeria, trattoria, and the woman that I worked for taught me Italian, and that was very exciting, and
It's a good benefit to working in another country.
we had a wood-fired oven, and that's why there's one at the Frog, because I started Lola's before the Frog. And then in Switzerland, I worked for a family that built their own hotel back in 1907.
Wow.
And I did whatever was asked of me.
Yeah.
It was a village only accessible by train or foot. So it was a pedestrian village like Zermatt. And they had electric carts to go down to the station and get the guests.
Yeah.
And I ran the bar at night. I worked in the kitchen in the daytime.
Very different from
Hauled
here,
bags around. You did whatever they asked you to do.
Yeah. So what is Sanders like, the place that you're working at now?
Well, we're a dinner house, and we have those three elements that I feel make a great restaurant: food, service, and atmosphere. And I have employees that have been with me as long as 23 years. We make everything from scratch, our stocks, all our sauces, all our dressings.
Fresh.
We bake our bread every day. Everything. I make my own ice cream.
Yeah.
Everything.
So what's your job? What do you do on a daily basis? Do you just kind of check up on things, or do you cook?
I do the book work now. I have a chef that's been with me 17 years that I've trained.
Yeah.
I'm too old and in the way. I don't have the chops the young studs do. And but then I schmooze the tables, and you like that word, don't you?
It's important. So what are you going to make here for us today?
Well, we're gonna score up this ham.
Okay.
It's a Black Forest ham, no water added.
No water.
And then we're gonna mix things together. So first I will
Go for it.
score this.
Okay.
And you score it when it opens up, after it bakes in the oven. It kind of flours up.
Okay.
So
to help kind of soak in the flavors?
And
Is
the
that kind of
flavors
goal
soak
right here?
in, yep.
Okay. Got it.
I'm switching that so I don't cut my fingertips off. Okay.
All right.
Then we'll take 2 cups of brown sugar,
Okay.
packed as you can see. We'll take 8 ounces of crushed pineapple.
So is it canned pineapple, or is it an actual pineapple that you cut
It can
up?
be both.
Okay.
I take a fresh pineapple and puree it in the Cuisinart. But if you don't want to do that, you can go get the crushed pineapple in the can.
Okay.
And the same with these jalapenos.
Okay. So what do
You
you
could-
look for a good jalapeno for somebody who doesn't really cook that much?
That it's green and there are no spots on it.
Okay.
And then you can you cut it in half. You take the seeds out unless you really like heat.
Because it's spicy, yeah.
Very
Okay.
spicy. And then you chop them up.
Got it.
Now, this is an Anaheim chili that I roast. 4 ounces of that. And you roast the chilies, it gets a black crust on it. We do it over a open flame.
Yeah.
And then you put them in a paper bag. The steam separates the skin from the flesh. You take that off, take the seeds out.
Okay, so
Dice
do
it
you
up.
mix it up here or put it on top?
That's
or what
why I
do you
have
do?
the magic gloves on.
Keep your hands out of it.
I know King Richard is watching me from the health department.
So as you're kind of going through doing this, can you kind of explain what a marinade is for those who don't really
Well, a
understand?
marinade is something you can put on the night before, like what I did here.
Yep.
Or if you have a lot of liquid, you can soak something in a marinade.
Okay.
With wine, red wine and garlic, onions, ginger, whatever your meat you're cooking, pork or chicken. And then we put this on.
Got it. Just kind of evenly coated, it looks like there a little bit.
Try to.
Yep.
Let it a little bit run off into the side, down into the bottom.
So as you're kind of fishing up here, my last question for you is, what kind of occasions can you make this for? Is this kind of a summer thing or a winter thing, or?
Summer, winter, fall, anything, time you want.
Okay.
But you cover this in saran wrap, put it in the refrigerator overnight,
Fabulous.
take it out an hour before you bake it. You bake it at 325 degrees for 30 minutes covered, and then you take the cover off for 15 to 20 minutes until it browns like this. And then I'm taking a sweet white wine and putting it in the bottom.
Looks good.
And you put about 8 ounces in the bottom. And when it's covered, it steams.
Yeah.
And flavors
looks really great.
the ham.
It looks delicious. Thank you so much for being on the show with us today.
Thanks for having me.